Hello and welcome. I have been waiting for this particular piece of data like forever, literally. The last 1 week, this was the first thing I did in the morning to check and see if Trump team has released their fundraising numbers for August. I waited, and when they finally released, I did not know what to make of it. It was like a little kid who cried all week for a toy, and finally, when he gets it, he does not have a clue what to do with it and keeps staring at it. And I did stare at the numbers for a really long time. And slowly, very slowly, things started to clarify themselves. Trump campaign is running on a month to month budget. Yes, they have moved on from a family with a cool list of savings in the bank to a family that plans its expenditure based on the money that's going to be deposited in the first week of the next month. A campaign on a budget. Think of it this way. Instead of planning their expenses based on savings and incoming cash, Trump campaign is planning their expenses based on incoming cash only because the savings is gone. Trump had only $6 million more than Biden by the end of July. In August, Biden raised $365 million. Trump raised $210 million. If both teams spent the same amount of money in August, Biden will now be ahead by around 150 million. It's a headache, of course, because Biden will sweep the airwaves with the additional cash he has. But Trump camp savings has evaporated exactly when Biden started pulling ahead with his collections. Now, what evidence do we have that Trump is running tight on dollars vis-a-vis Biden? Well, the first alarm went off when they pulled out ads from Michigan in the last week of July. There was a long period of silence in the Midwest battleground, and then they went up again recently. On air, off air, and on air again. Well, the answer for the on off on play in Michigan came from Arizona. Trump team wanted to pull out of Michigan because the state was looking out of reach. So his team correctly decided to reduce its spending in Michigan and invest in better options in the Midwest. Remember, Trump only needs two states in the Midwest to win 270. So they did the right thing. But thanks to Martha McSally, the Republican Senate candidate in Arizona, who has consistently trailed Mark Kelly since January this year, often in double digits, Arizona has quietly slipped into the Democratic column. See, Senate races do have the tendency to either help the presidential race or hurt the presidential race, and it goes both ways. But for now, Arizona has clearly bolted to the blue house in this election, and there is no way in hell or heaven it's going to get back. The John McCain state has 11 electoral votes. If it's gone, Trump has to find the 11 in the Midwest. So Trump campaign starts pulling back on spending in Arizona while it got back into business in Michigan. Data from advertising analytics shows that on September 8th, Trump was on air in Michigan, but he was off air in Arizona. The scheduled buys Trump team had for Arizona is now pushed down by a week, and I'm going to bet that they are going to keep pushing it down. Between Michigan and Arizona, Michigan is a better bet. Now, why would any campaign with less than 2 months left for the election play this hide and seek in battleground states? Will you do it? If you are the campaign manager, I won't. And the only time I will play this game is if I think I'm running low on cash. How did $1 billion campaign end up here without a cushion of $200 to $300 million in the bank for the last stretch of the race? Well, I think we need to thank Mr. Brad Parscale for getting the Trump campaign to this place. $1.3 billion and counting, and you leave your candidate without $200 to $300 million cushion in the last 50 days? Unfreaking believable. Trump's current campaign manager, Bill Stepien, is doing the right thing. He cannot be blamed for this constant back and forth strategy he has deployed in some battleground states. He knows Florida is a must win, and he has kept the spending up and there in that state, but has kept playing with some states such as Michigan, Minnesota, and Arizona. He is hedging the states that he thinks are challenging, but holds his ground if the state is a 100% must win like Florida. Trump campaign might still lose with this strategy, but it's still a better strategy than remaining too stubborn. If Trump loses, he can thank himself, thank Brad Parscale and Martha McSally. Let us not underestimate the importance of Arizona's 11 electoral votes. Instead of staying faithfully in the Republican column, the state has bolted to the Democratic column. Trump is now forced to find a replacement for this 11 electoral votes in the Midwest, where the options remain extremely limited. It's kind of a nightmare scenario from the campaign perspective. You are low on cash compared to your opponent, you are behind in polling, and now you have to find another state to replace your faithful state. And before we close, let us all take a minute to give a slow clap for Trump's blue eyed boy Tucker Carlson for throwing Lindsey Graham under the bus. He ripped Graham for helping set up the interview between Donald Trump and Bob Woodward, which led to the release of the audio tapes in which Trump openly admitted that he downplayed the threat of the virus. Did Tucker Carlson, the most brilliant man on earth, does not know that Lindsey Graham is running a tight race in South Carolina and that he is running neck and neck with his Democratic opponent, Jamie Harrison, for the Senate seat? And according to Tucker, Lindsey Graham has passionately opposed, virtually every major policy initiative Mr. Trump articulated when he first ran, from ending illegal immigration to pulling back from pointless wars to maintaining law and order at home. Mr. Graham was against all of that. Doesn't Tucker know that Jamie Harrison, Lindsey's opponent, will gleefully accept the gift he has sent? All Harrison has to do now is to put Tucker's meltdown in his ad and play it on an endless loop till it starts moving people in the deeply red state. If Tucker Carlson shaves a couple of points from Lindsey, he'll be gone in South Carolina, and it might as well be the end of the Republican majority in the Senate. Tucker Carlson is supposed to be a Republican supporter, so why would he do something like that? Oh, shoot, wait. And am I mispronouncing Tucker Carlson? Oh man, I'm so sorry. That was so unintentional. If I had done that intentionally, I would have had the courage to apologize, or if someone corrected me, I would be happy to appreciate the helping hand. I wouldn't be like, okay, so what? Tucker Carlson or Ducker Carlson or whatever. In this show, nobody in power will be immune to walk away with disrespecting others. Our journalists must be held to account, and that's my job. Thanks for watching.